Hi, I'm Mark Sipp, Crocker Farm Auction. I'm here to discuss a wonderful selection of people decorated stoneware from West Virginia and Western Pennsylvania that we'll be selling in our March 19th auction. 3 out of the 5 were produced at the Thompson's Morgantown Pottery in Morgantown, West Virginia, circa 1850 to 1875. The one that obviously stands out is this example, a nice 3-gallon jar. You can see it has classic Morgantown style handles that are extruded and are cut at an angle on each side. Very distinctive. I mean, you'll find pieces that don't even have people on them that have vining and things with these distinctive Morgantown handles. And you see how they're cut right along here. And in this case, they're cobalt highlighted on the front. The shoulder with a very distinctive capacity mark, one of the most distinctive capacity marks in American stoneware. These marks are actually still in existence today. They're owned by the Smithsonian. You can see it's a 3. In this case, it's an upside down 3 with a molding around it with raised circles. The various other numbers exist of that same style. You can see what makes this piece so striking is the wonderful decoration of a woman on the front. Done in very bold, strong cobalt. Wonderful folk expression in this design. You can see the deftness of the hand. In the case of the leaves, they're done with sponging, which you also find is a popular decorative technique from the Thompson Pottery. Many of these people designs from the Thompson Pottery are attributed to David Greenland Thompson, who was the main potter there, and who occasionally actually stamped his pieces D.G. Thompson. But one of the interesting things about these motifs that he employed is that you actually can have different layers of concentration of cobalt. So you have the lighter stump and the darker leaves. You have the lighter dress here, but then overlaying cobalt in a second layer, you have a dark apron formed on the woman. You also have a collar formed and a brim on her hat. She has this train coming down the back of her hat. This object that she's holding, you see on a lot of Morgantown pieces, and it can be any one of a number of different things. But this is a popular motif from this region. What makes this one so special is the size that it consumes on the front of the piece, and the color of it, and the boldness of it is just fantastic. Some other Morgantown pieces you have that will be sold in the March sale. Here's a woman holding a parasol. And again, that sponging is evident. This example has 2 women, and the one is holding an object. It could be a bouquet, it could be a hat. That's another popular motif, kind of one of these mystery objects that they're holding. And it has this very distinctive tall pine tree, very abstract way of expressing a pine tree with this incredibly tall stump, and then you have this nice brushwork at the top. And of course, here's the 2. Can you get that, Luke? Do I need to turn it? Okay. And that's in the same series as that 3. And here's another feature that you'll see on the Morgantown pots is the propensity for David Greenland Thompson or whichever other potter made these pieces to impress the capacity marks on the top of the rim. Now, these examples, they look very similar to Morgantown pieces, but they're actually made in the Morgantown style in Uniontown, Pennsylvania. And we know that because of subtle stylistic differences. For one, we have different capacity marks. This one has a 2 that's in a much different font. This example has a 4, and again, it's stamped on the rim like the Morgantown pieces. So there's definitely a huge influence here between areas, but it's in a different capacity. And then the handles are different. You can see these are different handles. These are more characteristic of Western Pennsylvania, standardly produced Western Pennsylvania handles, lug handles. that you'd see in Greensboro or New Geneva. And then, of course, this trumpet flower is very distinctive to Uniontown. It's got this great people design. The people are a little more simplified. You notice the heads are a little more elongated, a little more oval, a little more horizontal than the Morgantown examples. This figure holding the shepherd's crook is another character that you see on the best Uniontown pieces. It's one of the Uniontown people that you see. I mean, this example is unusual as it holds flowers. This is great. It has two people. It has trumpet flowers. It has a different capacity mark on the rim, even a freehand 4 between the figures. Just a very, very outstanding example of Uniontown stoneware, and one of the best examples from that city that we've ever sold. This example, again, it has the different capacity mark, and you can see the person's done a little bit differently. This is a woman in a cloak, but it's the same concept with overlying cobalt and sponging at the base, and 2 trees flanking the figure, and rainbow-like brushwork above, or sponging above. So this is just a great offering. We have 5 of these in this sale. All of them were in the collection of the well-known, the legendary collector from Ohio, Clark Garrett, who of course had a famous sale in the early 2000s of most of his pottery. And we're looking forward to offering this fine selection at our March 19th auction.